96.5 FM. Good morning to you. This is Community Conversations. Cato Wonder is flying solo in the studio with you, and I am joined by Miss Teah Morris and Miss DeAngelis Bullard, and these ladies are going to be a part of an event that's coming to Jonesboro. It's called the Women of Excellence event. The theme is I Am Worthy. It's a girls' retreat, and it's going to take place at First Baptist Church, 700 Kitchen Street, here in Jonesboro, under the direction of Reverend Curtis R. Wilson, pastor. It's March 17th from 10 o'clock a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. It's going to be from ages 12 to 18. Breakfast and lunch will be served. The attire is casual. There's going to be empowerment, spiritual growth, and inspiration. And registration is available at First Baptist Church or at www.eventbrite.com. All you got to do is just search for I Am Worthy, and you can get registered for this event. And just looking at some of the people who are going to be a part of the event, they have 4 motivational speakers. They have Mrs. Corleen Flanagan, who is going to speak about self-respect, Miss Wakanda Cox, who is going to speak about self-motivation, Miss Tiffany Wright, who is going to speak about self-control, and Mrs. Tamara Glover, who is going to speak about self-confidence. So, ladies, we're certainly glad to have you today. So I'm going to start off with Teah, since you are, according to this flyer, the host of the show. So just kind of tell us how all of this came together.
Well, God definitely put this on my heart to do. It came from my own personal experiences. I feel like as women, we all struggle with self-motivation, self-confidence, self-control, and self-respect, whether we're respecting ourselves or somebody else not respecting us. So I thought, why not take all the experiences that I've experienced in my life and teach young girls about how to control themselves, how to respect themselves, how to motivate themselves. When you have nobody else, you have to motivate yourself sometimes. So all of these are under the umbrella of just self-love. So love yourself, and through loving yourself, when everybody's gone, it doesn't matter because you have yourself, and you have self-control and self-respect and self-motivation. So it definitely came from my own experiences, and then God just gave me the vision of bringing it to my youth leaders and putting it out there for them to help me with.
And you certainly seem like a very intelligent, articulate young lady, and you talk about the theme of self-respect. And being a young lady, of course, there are some women your age that, may not necessarily respect themselves. They have low self-esteem. They may not come from stable households, or they may have given in to peer pressure to do things that can come with negative consequences. So how will this conference kind of help to combat that?
Well, it will definitely help them realize that there's people watching me. If they want to do great things in life, there's certain steps you have to take. You have to put yourself out there for people to respect you. So they have to realize that if I want to go to college, if I want to have a great job or career and a husband, whatever it may be, there's a certain way I have to put myself out into the world. And so this conference will guide them, motivate them to be better, do better, and understand the importance of doing such.
All right, I want to go ahead and bring DeAngelis into the conversation. So what would you say to people to encourage them to come out to the conference?
Well, when Teah told us about her vision, I was very happy and thankful because around the time she was telling me her things and I was telling her my personal things as well. And we have experienced some of the similar things to what she has talked about and I has talked about. So not only would this help young ladies, it will actually help some of the older women that are there. And so I think that anybody that has a daughter, granddaughter, niece, sister, please come and hear these wonderful women, because there are some powerful women and they have some powerful words. And I have experienced hearing 2 ladies speak already, and I will, encourage just everybody to come with their daughters and sisters and nieces, aunts, come and just fellowship together, and let's grow. Let's just grow, yeah.
So when you look at the ladies, and this is for both of you, when you look at the ladies on this flyer, all these women are doing great things in the community. Like Mrs. Flanagan, she is a principal. Ms. Cox, she has her own nonprofit organization. Mrs. Glover, she recently got her doctoral degree,
Mhm,
and
yep.
Mrs. Wright. My mind is kind of slipped my mind, but I know she's doing great things in the
Right.
community as well. So
Yes.
when you see these women who are out in the community, they're accomplishing things, they're serving as examples for younger women behind them to follow. Just kind of, how does that make you feel?
But it makes me feel good because Miss Cox, my son actually goes to her after school program and he loves it. And I love her because she gives parents um, just the strength to just keep going, knowing well that their kids are safe after school going to her program. They're learning. They're having some playtime as well, but most importantly, they are learning and they are enjoying her program, and that's what I really love about her. Not only is she's the same person outside of her program as well, and that's what I really like about her. And also with Tamara, we know her well from First Baptist, coming to First Baptist, and we have heard her speak, and she is one of the women that has came a long way from where she comes from the South. And just hearing her speak and hearing her goals and reaching those, that's amazing.
Well, for me, my mom is Corleen Flanagan. So
Yeah, you come from a family of educators.
no, but I know at one point it was just, she had me when she was 18, so
Mhm.
she's had to go through a lot, but she has multiple degrees. She's successful in her own right, and that's what I look up to, and I appreciate that because it's just been her and I before. So I've seen the struggle, and she is open about that, and I love that. And so, of course, that's one person I look up to, because I know what we've been through together.
And I think that's going to resonate with a lot of the young
Right.
ladies because I'm sure that many of the attendees at the conference, have similar situations where it was just, them and the mother. In fact, I can say that that was the situation with me and my mother for most of my life up until she died. My father passed away when I was 11 years old, and my mom chose not to remarry after that. So, it was just me and her after my father passed away. So I think it's definitely going to be inspiring. Now, Teah, you are the host of this program, so go talk about your role as the host. What you're going to be doing?
Well, as the host, I've decided I've made a lot of decisions behind the scenes. For example, food. That's a big deal. Food is a big deal.
Yes, there's breakfast and lunch will be provided.
Yes, a homemade breakfast. Yes, I'm excited about that.
Is it come from H2Q? I know you mentioned First Baptist. So.
I'm not sure. We haven't decided on that one yet, but I know the breakfast will be made from the women of First Baptist. Okay. So, I've decided just from the gifts that the girls get. But as the host that day, I will just be making sure everything is in place. Everyone is in place. I will be directing, kind of like the MC too. And then I will have my own little section to talk. And I have my own little icebreaker that I'm going to do with the girls that resonates with me. And so I'm just excited. I get to just kind of run the show and decide what I want to do. But I actually have a great team behind me that's helping me do everything.
And that's certainly great. We are speaking with Teah Morris and DeAngelis Bullard. They are with the Women of Excellence Girls Retreat 2018. The theme is I Am Worthy. It's going to be talking about empowerment, spiritual growth, inspiration. It's going to take place at First Baptist Church, 700 Kitchen Street. Reverend Curtis R. Wilson, pastor. And it's March 17th from 10 o'clock a.m. until 2 o'clock p.m. It's going to be from ages 12 to 18. Breakfast and lunch will be served. Casual attire is the dress code. And of course, you can register at First Baptist Church on Eventbrite.com, or just search for I Am Worthy on Eventbrite.com. It's going to be hosted by Teah, who you just heard from a few seconds ago. And they're going to have 4 guest speakers. We're going to have Mrs. Corleen Flanagan speaking about self-respect, Ms. Raconda Cox talking about self-motivation, Ms. Tiffany Wright talking about self-control, and Dr. Tamara Glover talking about self-confidence. Now, getting back to the program itself, will there be opportunities for the young ladies to ask questions of the panelists? Will there be a
Yes.
Q&A session after each speaker?
We do have a panel at the very end. It will be me and a few other people from First Baptist, and they can ask us whatever they want to ask. Yes.
Okay, now what about asking questions of the motivational speakers?
Yes, they can ask questions from them too. At the end of their section, they can ask them questions as well.
Okay, so it'll be an opportunity for the young ladies in attendance to pick the brains of these women, to ask questions and get concerns any concerns they may have, they can get questions about. All right, let's kind of talk about these themes. Let's first talk about empowerment.
Okay.
How is this conference going to help empower young women?
Well, sometimes I feel like not just people in general, but definitely women, young women. Women have so many different emotions. I feel like we go through so much, and this conference will just empower them that no matter what they're going through, they can get through it. They have other women there to help them. They have people they can depend on no matter what. So it will just, whatever they may be dealing with in their life, after this conference they can understand with God, well, with my family, self-love, I can get through it.
All right, and speaking of God, let's talk about spiritual growth and go ahead and bring DeAngelis in. Can't let Teah have all the fun.
Okay.
But Teah can help you out. But let's talk about the spiritual growth part of it.
From my experience of spiritual growth,
Mhm.
basically, I'm from a small town called McGee, Arkansas, and my family was pretty in the church all the time. So spiritually, I knew how to be a spiritual person. But when I moved up here to Jonesboro, I kind of lacked. You know how well, I'm grown now.
Kind of
I have to
backslid a
go.
little bit.
Yeah, I backslid
Which
a
could
little
be
bit.
some of these
Yeah.
girls.
And so I went, but not like I should have. But then after my second son, I started going to First Baptist. And when I started going to First Baptist, it just grew on me, and I just love the environment. And I got back more spiritual with God to lead the right way so I can raise my children. And so just being spiritually, now I'm still learning, but I think I have came a long way, and I'm happy where I'm at.
So that's a story that you can help impart on the ladies at the conference.
Right.
Absolutely, and like you said with Mrs. Flanagan, I know by experience because I was a single mom at the age of 18, so I know how it was, and I'm still learning, and I'm still growing. So I can't wait to hear Miss Flanagan speak as well because, like I said, not only is it for little kids, but it's for my age women as well. So I'm ready for it.
All right, so there you go. We got a couple testimonies right there.
Oh no.
Oh, you're gonna say the big ones for the
No,
conference?
no.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm just here to support whatever Teah needs me to do.
And that's good. And speaking of support, let's transition into inspiration because DeAngelis, I can kind of tell that Teah definitely is inspiring you. You're following her lead. So let's talk about inspiration in relation to the conference. And of course, either one of you can join in or together.
Okay. Well, we hope to inspire these, like I've said multiple times, we hope to inspire them that that they can reach whatever goal they have in life. It's going to come with obstacles, but you can get through it no matter how hard it is. So I hope these ladies realize this by the end at 2 p.m. I hope they leave there knowing I am inspired to do whatever it is in this world that I want to do. And I hope they know that and feel that. So that also goes along with empowerment.
Yeah, I feel like nowadays that social media and the television has taken over on what real women really do in real life. Like
What they go through.
I feel like they don't know how many times a woman have to struggle to be a mother or to go to college and get a certain degree or to keep working to get a higher position because she's just a female. Like it's more out there in life than having to settle for what you think that you have solved throughout your years, because it's been plenty of times I have seen well, this is maybe how life should be, but when you be around real women and just see real struggle and see how they succeed, it makes you want to do better.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you mentioned social media because oftentimes, like you said, that people put their best foot forward. They kind of put on I guess their Sunday best is a good way to say it all the time, and they don't always share unless somebody gets into some drama or something. The negative part. But then when it comes to the negative, you have bullying and things like that. So it's a lot tougher for these generations coming up now. Your self-esteem and your character,
Yes.
can be unmercilessly attacked, 24/7. It's
So that's where self-control comes into play.
and something that, my generation probably was like a transition generation. I can remember when all of this was first starting to come into play. So I can actually remember a before and the after. But now, these generations coming, they're going to be born into this. It's all that they're going to know. So with that, self-control.
Right. That's what Miss Tiffany will talk about, is how to control yourself when you don't want to control yourself and when you want to lash out through social media or in person at someone. Because we see that on all the reality shows that there are. Love and Hip Hop, Married to Medicine. Even though I love those shows, but that's what they see.
And then Jesus said, "Turn the other cheek."
Yeah. Yes. And sometimes we don't want to do that, but it's the best thing you can do. It's the best thing you can do.
Absolutely. All right, self-motivation. That's going to be Miss Cox's topic. So let's kind of talk a little bit about that.
Well, she has, like DeAngelis spoke on, she has went through a lot herself, and so, but even through that, she's continued to motivate herself and the women and the kids in her program. So just like I mentioned, it's just motivating them to keep going, no matter what, keep going.
And Dr. Glover, self-confidence. And Dr. Glover, she's a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. She definitely carries herself with confidence. She actually came in and recorded Kappa Nu Omega chapter, their announcement.
I'm a Kappa Nu Omega.
Okay. Oh, you're so right.
Yes, I am.
Well, all right. So let's talk about self-confidence.
This was a big one for me because when I was in high school, I struggled with it, with self-confidence. I feel like a lot of women do, so I'm not ashamed to say it. And not just in high school, just I feel like as women, we do struggle with it every day, every other day. It's something that somebody may say something that's like, oh.
And I think the social media, again, like we said earlier, makes it worse.
Yes, it does.
Because, you get people who take these pictures and...
Right, filters.
About 20 million Snapchat filters applied to it.
Yeah. Yes, it is. So I think self-confidence, having low self-esteem, no confidence, it can take you to some bad places.
It can take you out.
Yes, and I don't want...
We don't want to lose anybody.
No, I don't. I want them to know that they need to be confident in who they are, and more important, whose they are. You are a child of God.
Absolutely.
So that comes first.
Absolutely. All right. Well, ladies, any final comments about the conference? Anything that we did not touch upon?
Well, we do have registration. It's at 9:30, and that's when you come about 30 minutes early so you can register and eat breakfast. So.
And also we will have vendors there. We will have the Divine Images and the paparazzi jury there.
So you better get you some gifts.
Yeah.
Get you some word, get you some gifts, get you some inspiration.
Yes. And also, like Teah was saying, she is with Kappa Nu Omega, and they will be bringing an icebreaker as well for the ladies.
Nice.
Helping sponsor the event.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we want to thank the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha for their sponsorship, and for First Baptist Church for hosting this event. Everyone who is worked to make this event a success, and I pray that this event is successful for you all. The event is the Women of Excellence Girls Retreat 2018. The theme is I Am Worthy. We're going to be talking about empowerment, spiritual growth, and inspiration. It's at First Baptist Church, 700 Kitchen Street. Reverend Curtis R. Wilson, pastor, March 17th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. But like DeAngelis said, get there early so you can get that breakfast. Ages 12 to 18. And of course, like I just said, breakfast will be served along with lunch. So you're going to get you 2 good meals.
Yes.
Casual attire is the dress code. You can register at eventbrite.com. Search I Am Worthy under First Baptist Church. Motivational speakers, Mrs. Corleen Flanagan, Miss Wakanda Cox, Miss Tiffany Wright, and Dr. Tamara Glover. Ladies, I want to thank you all for stopping by the studio. It has been a pleasure speaking with you, ladies. I'm proud of both of you all, and thank you all for taking a stand and doing what you can to help make this community a better place. May God keep and bless each and every one of you out there listening. This is LEK 102.5 FM.
All right.
That was cool.
See, you were so nervous.